Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Now, I hope you're all staying safe from the virus and all keeping out of trouble, staying healthy. So people are quarantining right now, and I thought, what a better thing to do than to make a cheap gaming PC, as one of the most popular games today is Fortnite. So this PC is going to be aimed to run Fortnite, but we're also going to use this PC to test other games as well, just for our, well, I wouldn't go say our curiosity, but it's obviously my curiosity. There we go. Got it right in the end. So, this PC altogether is going to cost £113, and it's one of the cheapest I've ever done, that's for sure. Let me just go over parts. Just lob the box over there. You don't know how many motherboard deals I get that don't come with the IO shield, so the fact that this does is an absolute winner. So this motherboard is an LG 1155, and in the CPU socket we have an i5 3330, which is a 4-core 4-thread. RAM, we have two 4GB sticks of DDR3, which I believe to be 1033 megahertz DDR3. Not too impressive, no. So let's go over price. And I've got my nice little piece of paper here. Sorry for my voice, guys, it's got cold. Don't worry, I'm not sick, I ain't got the coronavirus, just the cold. So the motherboard was £22. The CPU was £10. Really good deal on the CPU there. The RAM was £13, £6.50 each, not bad. We've got a Strix GTX 962GB, which was £25, not too bad a value there either. We have an HP 460 watt power supply, which has a 4-pin and an 8-pin and a 6-pin PCIe power connector, which is not too bad at all. That was £12. That really good value there. A Hypertech SSD, which is £10. A 500GB hard drive, £6. This is where we're going to start our games on. And then we have a pre-owned CIT 7 case, which we're going to put this in a minute. I don't think the RGB fan is in the case, but you know, it's pre-owned, and you know, yeah, you have to give it and take with pre-owned stuff. As long as it works, it's fine. And that case was £15, which brings this build, guys, when complete, to £113, which is not too bad at all. And this is going to give us some okay performance for the price. So it's going to give us price performance. Basically, you get what you pay for, guys, is what I'm trying to say. This is going to be an okay playable experience for the budget that we're actually spending on this. So let's get into the build, and I hope you guys enjoy this time lapse. And there we have it, guys. £113 gaming PC. One thing I just want to add to note, if the case power supply needed to go up there, then this wouldn't have worked. The GPU cable for the PCI power is quite small, so I'm actually quite lucky that it was down here, feed it through here. Like I said, there's quite a bit of tension there, but I'm happy with it. It's a cheap PC. It's designed to be a budget gaming PC, which is what it's going to do at £113. Alright guys, so we are at the desk, and here we have it, £113 gaming PC. like I say, with the CRT 7 case being used, the RGB fan was stuck out at the back, so the blue one would have to do. And everyone knows RGB has 100% FPS. That's just given fact. So we've got aesthetics, and I think this thing's going to do pretty well for £113. The RAM is 1600 megahertz. It's not 1333 like I thought it was. So yeah, let's get into the games. So all games will be in the low settings because this isn't quality here, guys. Well, the whole idea behind this is playable frame rates. If you're looking for quality, you're gonna have to pay more money, obviously. So 1080p, low settings, and let's see what sort of playable frame rates we get. Now, I do think there's gonna be some bottlenecks on the CPU side of things. That's to be expected. It is quite an old i5. But let's say we get on with it. So first up we have Fortnite, and as you can see by the CPU usage, we're actually bottlenecking the graphics card right now. So the CPU usage is 100%, and we're getting bottlenecks up to 40% in Fortnite. Although we were getting above 100 FPS, and I actually found a little umbrella and got this little kill here and did a little teabag. So Fortnite was very playable, yes. But to eliminate that bottleneck, as I'm going to say at the end of the video as well, you are going to need a better i5 or maybe the i7 3770 because bottlenecks are going to occur. But apart from that, we're over 100 FPS. If you're happy with that, with a 40% bottleneck, you know, you're good to game really. Next up we have Borderlands 3, and we're at the beginning area here. And we are getting a slight bottleneck on the CPU in some cases, like anyway up to 5%. But we are getting FPS anywhere from 50 FPS all the way to above 60 FPS. And this was actually a decent playable experience. And this was not as badly bottlenecked as it was in Fortnite. So if you wanted to replicate this and wanted to play with your friends on, say, Steam, because it's out on Steam right now, and you didn't have much money to go with, this could work. Low settings, you know, you're not breaking the bank. Obviously, still got to buy the game, but you're not breaking the bank. And, you know, you get to join in with your friends around 50 to 60, and maybe we saw 65 FPS, a glimper there. But yeah, this could work in a situation where someone hasn't got a lot of money. Here we are in Battlefield 5, and yet again we're getting really good playable frame rates. Above 60 FPS in most cases. There were a couple of scenes during this level that I did experience like a 20% bottleneck, but that was very, very rare. Most of the time the CPU was keeping up with the GPU in Battlefield 5, and we were most of the time above 60 FPS like I said, and it was a very playable experience. This actually impressed me quite a little bit on this game. I actually expected this bottleneck, but no, proved me wrong, and even in low settings, it looks pretty great in this game, and I nearly died. But yeah, very playable. Here we have Ghost Recon Wildlands, and although the CPU was pinged at 100% all the time during this gameplay, it wasn't that bad because we were getting 97% to 98% GPU usage. So I'm going to class that as a little mini win. Yes, we are getting bottlenecks still. It did drop the usage down to the GPU around 80%, but more or less of the time we're in the high 90s on the usage side of the GPU. And once again we're above 60 FPS majority all the time. Now with this CPU reaching 100%, there was quite a bit of stutter in the game, but this could be rectified by turning on VSync. Limiting the in-game FPS to 60 FPS, and that would take away from the lag and stutter in the game. But apart from that, I would say you would need to turn VSync on and limit the FPS to 60 FPS to get a playable experience, as the stutter did sort of kill it for me, but I did enjoy running around with the monster truck and using the nitro. Moving on to good old potato Doom. We saw no bottlenecks on Doom. I know I need to get the Doom Eternal. I were planning to get Doom Eternal for this video, but I didn't have the time to download it for this video. I wanted this video out, so we're gonna have to put it with old Doom for now. I am gonna buy Doom Eternal and use it in benchmarks in the future. So this is probably the last time we'll see old Doom. Sorry about that, Custard. But more or less, this was above 100 FPS all the time, and we were seeing no bottlenecks, and you would do pretty well if you were if all you were going to play is Doom. But yeah, did pretty well. Next up, The Witcher 3. This is quite an old game now, but still causes very demanding. Well, if you were to play it in Ultra anyway, luckily we're playing this in low settings, and it still looks great. So we're majority of the time getting above 60 FPS. We did have a few dips into the 50 FPS range, but majority of the time it were above 60 FPS. There were no bottlenecks. I think there were one occurrence where it reached 100% and there were a little bit of bottleneck, but majority of the time there were no bottlenecks. And I quite enjoyed running around on the Witcher's horse right here. Oh, there we go. You see the 100% right there. But yeah, it was a very playable experience, and even in low settings, this looks pretty great. Next up, Gears of War 5, and this was another game that were always pinged at 100% on CPU, and we had a lot of bottlenecks in this game. The bottlenecks went as much as 50%, so we're actually losing 50% usage on the GPU side because the CPU can't handle it, which is why I said you would be better if you want to play this game with sort of setup, going a better i5 or maybe the i7 3770. So we saw dips to the bottom 50s, but even though we're in the bottom 50s, it's still a playable experience. And for the money we've spent, you can't really complain at these frame rates, pumping out in low settings, and it was very, very impressive. And last up, Metro Exodus. Again, we were getting some bottlenecks, and there was actually quite a lot of stutter during this gameplay. So I would either recommend locking the 60 FPS in, or even changing the resolution down to 720p. If you don't mind a bit of stutter though, majority of the time we're above 60 FPS. We did drop down to the bottom 50s, but for me there was too much stutter in the gameplay for me. So putting it down would be the way to go. Let's summarize, guys. Okay, so this little thing, come here, my little buddy. This little thing didn't do too bad at all. In really demanding games, we were seeing 50-ish FPS, but in some games we're getting more than 60 FPS, which is pretty darn good, even in low settings for the price we paid of £113. We did see quite a bit of bottlenecks on the CPU side, which I thought we were going to see. But say if you were going to replicate this sort of thing, I do love to build budget gaming PCs. If you were going to replicate this, maybe go with a better i5, or even maybe if you were to do this to begin with, then maybe go to like the i7 3770. That would then eliminate all bottlenecks on the GPU side of things. But all in all, this was a great project. I love building budget gaming PCs, and this thing actually beat my expectations. If the 960 was a 4GB, we could have probably pushed this into medium settings, but only having 2GB of VRAM definitely limits. We've got a VRAM limitation there. So yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. If you liked it, give it a like. Thank you for all the continued support and subscribes, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, stay safe.